Kicks were a big part of what I did, but now I don't do a lot of that, so I can't get a real high kick. So you can go higher, but I've kind of lost my high kick. But all you really need to do is go waist level, and you can even go lower for a modification. This particular exercise shows a lunge front kick. This is what that looks like. So you'd actually start if my right leg were back in the lunge position, then the right leg comes forward and kicks, back, forward. That particular exercise is more advanced, but the main reason it's more advanced is you really need to watch your form. Make sure that you're getting in that correct position in that lunge before you move into your front kick. Okay, jump squat's another squat option. Hands can be here. I find that hard because my lower back doesn't have a lot of flexibility. But to demonstrate, here's our jump squat. So it's the same thing we were doing earlier, that jump, but adding a little squat or a little jump at the top. If you don't want to leave the floor, you can actually go down and just come up to your toes, down, come up to your toes. Okay, guys, that's everything on the list. Really quickly, there's a few other cardio exercises that I mentioned in the week 2 packet that I want to go over really quickly. Sumo squats, one of my favorite. A sumo squat is where we're here. My toes are actually pointed out to a 45-degree angle. I have a wide stance, and you're gonna come down and up. Again, making sure, looking down, are my knees coming directly out over the top of my toes, but not out over the toe. It's essential to good form. Sumo squats, the difference with the sumo squat, I'm now engaging my inner thighs, and I feel it really good in my glutes, okay? So here, if you look at it sideways to see my form, if you watch my knees, they're not gonna go out over my toes, just to the top of my toes and up. But I make sure my knees aren't coming here. I make sure they're not going behind, directly out over the toe and come up, okay? One of my favorites, sit-ups, crunches, push-ups. You can actually use these in cardio series when you're doing circuits if you want to. We'll be talking about those in week 2 class today. So if you haven't watched week 2 class and you're watching this video, you might want to go back and watch the week 2 class first. But crunches, really quick, guys. A crunch, it's like you're holding an orange between your chin and your chest. You're putting your hands back behind your head just to support your head lightly, but you're not actually pulling forward like this or holding it. It's just a little support, and you're just crunching. It's a small movement, and back down. Crunch and back down. You're looking up where the ceiling meets the wall up ahead of you, here and down. If it's too hard for you to hold both your hands like this, you can put one down, use one side for just a couple of reps, and then you can switch. Okay, so that's a modification. So that's a crunch. A full sit-up is very different. I do more crunches than I do full sit-ups, to be perfectly honest. Full sit-ups will work the full scope of your abs. We're gonna talk a lot more about abs coming up in future weeks, but this is just a demonstration for you. So if you're already doing these, then I wanna make sure you're doing them right. If you're not, we're gonna go into a lot more detail about them in a couple of weeks. But a full sit-up, I always keep my hands forward for a full sit-up. I pull up, touch my knees up over, or my elbows to my knees, and then roll back down, okay? So I don't use support on the back of my neck, and I come all the way up. Some people like to put their feet, especially if they're just starting out, underneath something to help hold them. I will say that that's it's working your legs more than it's working your abs. So just make sure that as you get stronger, you start doing those full sit-ups without your feet being held down, okay? Again, week 4, we're gonna talk a whole bunch about abs. So if that's not something you're comfortable with yet, don't add it in yet. We'll get into much more detail. So I just got a text. Funny girlfriends. Okay, the final one I just want to show, guys, push-ups. They are a great cardio and they're a great upper body exercise. Your heart rate will go up when you're doing push-ups. I showed them as part of other exercises, but a full push-up looks just like this. There's many modifications of push-ups, but just a normal standard push-up, You'll see my elbows come out to about a 45-degree angle, chest comes to the ground and come up. For a lot of people, working up to a full push-up or the idea of doing a push-up is a miserable thought. So a modification for it is that you can have your knees down, okay? Some people refer to these as girl push-ups. I don't call them girl push-ups, they're just a modification. So you come down, chest down, keep your head up. You don't want it crunched up like this, but you kind of want to be looking straight ahead of the floor and up, down and up, okay? The other thing, guys, is if you're brand new and you really start wanting to work yourself into push-ups, pretend I have a wall. It looks like I do with the angle we have right now. But let's say there's a wall right here. You can push in to the wall. Use your body. You saw, because I'm not actually up against something, my butt came out, but I don't want your butt come out. I want you to drop yourself down all the way and then push yourself back. So down and back. Do not push that butt out. Keep it straight, keep the abs tight. So start there, guys. If you're just starting to do push-ups, do it up against a wall, okay? And for those of you, some of you who, I know I have a couple people with shoulder injuries, check with your PT or your doc, but that might be a way for you to get started doing push-ups again, as long as it's safe for your shoulder. That won't put a lot of strain on that area, okay? One other advanced move, there's so many advanced moves with push-ups, but I just want to show the option because some people will talk about tricep push-ups. What we just did does more of the chest, biceps, back even, but if you want to do a tricep push-up, the key to it, you saw when I did the push-up here, my elbows were out, okay? With the tricep push-up, they stay in close to the body and they're here. So if I do that on the ground, I'm here, I bring my hands in a little bit closer, and when I drop down, my elbows go straight back, and then I come back up, straight back, and come back up. That is working more of my tricep rather than the other area. So that's, some people talk about tricep push-ups and they don't know the difference, so I wanted you guys to have that. So anyway, guys, week 2 class will talk about all the different ways you can use these exercises. I just want you to have some options. I want you to have some guidance. I think it just paused. Sorry this was a long video, but I wanted to give you guys a lot of options and exercises. So send me questions, comments, anything that you want. If you have other exercises that you want to do and you have questions on modifications for it, let me know. So that's it. It's early. I got this done. I'm so excited to send it to you guys, and I'm excited to see you today in class. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. Get your workout in. Bye.